The art of being alone. There's a beauty in being alone that many people don't understand. In a world that's constantly rushing, full of noise and distractions, being alone is often seen as something to be avoided. It's uncomfortable for many because when you're alone, you're faced with yourself, your thoughts, your fears, your emotions. But here's the truth. Solitude is not a burden. It's a gift. Solitude can be your sanctuary, the space where you find clarity, strength, and purpose. Loneliness, on the other hand, is the opposite. It's a cage, a place where you feel disconnected and lost. But the key to transformation lies in understanding the difference. Here are some steps exploring the difference. Step 1. Solitude versus loneliness. Understanding the difference. There's a stark difference between solitude and loneliness. Even though they may look similar from the outside, solitude is chosen. It's a deliberate act of stepping away from the noise of the world to be with yourself. In solitude, you find peace. You reflect. You grow. It's a powerful state of mind where you're comfortable with who you are, where you are. Loneliness, on the other hand, is an emotion. It's not about being physically alone. It's about feeling disconnected, even in a crowd. Loneliness is when you feel unseen, unheard, and unvalued. It's a void, a cage that traps you in a state of self-pity and fear. Loneliness feels like a prison, but solitude is where you find freedom. It's where you learn to love your own company, to nurture your own thoughts, and to embrace your inner strength. Step 2. Why solitude is a powerful tool for growth. People are often afraid to be alone because they're afraid of what they'll find. But solitude is where true transformation happens. It's in those quiet moments away from the noise of the world that you can hear your own voice clearly. When you remove the external influences, the opinions of others, the constant distractions, you give yourself the opportunity to connect with your true self. Solitude allows you to focus inward. It's where you confront your deepest thoughts, your fears, and your desires. It's where you can strip away the layers of expectations that the world has placed on you. In solitude, you begin to understand what truly matters to you, what you want out of life, and who you really are. That's where power begins, with self-awareness. When you understand yourself, when you're comfortable in your own skin, you become unshakable. Solitude teaches you that you don't need anyone else's validation. It teaches you how to rely on your own strength. And when you learn to stand strong in solitude, you become unstoppable in the world. Step 3. Loneliness is a cage. How to break free. While solitude is empowering, loneliness can be suffocating. Many people feel trapped in their loneliness, believing that being alone means something is wrong with them. They look for external solutions, people, places, distractions to fill the void. But the truth is, no one can fill that emptiness for you. You have to break free from that cage by first changing how you view being alone. The moment you stop seeing loneliness as something negative and start embracing solitude as an opportunity for growth, everything changes. Instead of running from yourself, you lean into the discomfort. You sit with your emotions. You listen to your thoughts without judgment. And you begin to understand that loneliness is a state of mind that can be shifted with a change in perspective. To escape the cage of loneliness, you have to stop seeking validation from the outside. You have to find value within yourself. When you learn to love your own company, you stop depending on others to make you feel complete. And that's when the cage begins to open, because true freedom comes from within. Step 4. The strength found in solitude. Building a fortress within. Think of solitude as building a fortress within yourself. In solitude, you have the time and space to strengthen your mind, your spirit, and your sense of purpose. When you're alone, you're forced to rely on yourself. You learn how to solve your own problems, how to process your own emotions, and how to make decisions that are aligned with your true desires. Many of the most successful people in history understood the power of solitude. They took time away from the world to focus on their vision, their goals, and their personal growth. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to lose sight of your own path. But in solitude, you gain clarity. You can focus on what truly matters to you without the distractions of the outside world. In solitude, you build resilience. You become comfortable with silence. And in that silence, you develop the strength to face any challenge that comes your way. The fortress you build within yourself becomes a place you can retreat to when the world becomes overwhelming. It's a source of inner power that no one can take away from you. Step 5. Learning to be alone without being lonely. The art of being alone is about finding peace within yourself. It's about learning to sit in your own company and enjoy it. It's about being your own best friend, your own greatest supporter. When you master the art of being alone, you realize that you are enough. You don't need constant companionship or external validation to feel whole. To practice this, start small. Spend time alone each day, whether it's taking a walk, journaling, meditating, or simply sitting in silence. Get comfortable with the stillness. Use this time to reflect on your thoughts, your emotions, and your goals. Over time, you'll find that being alone isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. The more time you spend in solitude, the more you'll realize that your strength comes from within. You'll start to feel empowered by your own presence. You'll learn that loneliness only exists when you give power to the idea that being alone is a negative thing. Step 6. How solitude transforms you into a stronger, more powerful person. When you embrace solitude, you begin a journey of self-transformation. You shed the need for constant approval and attention. You stop comparing yourself to others. You start focusing on your own growth, your own goals, and your own happiness. And as you do this, you become more powerful. The power of solitude lies in its ability to help you connect with your authentic self. It allows you to break free from societal expectations and define success on your own terms. It helps you develop mental strength, emotional resilience, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. Solitude teaches you that you are enough just as you are. When you emerge from periods of solitude, you come back to the world stronger, more focused, and more confident. You've built a fortress within yourself that no one can tear down. You've developed a deep sense of inner peace that can't be shaken by external circumstances. And that's when you realize that solitude is not just your home, it's your source of power. In the end, solitude is where you find yourself. It's where you build strength, gain clarity, and cultivate the power to face the world on your own terms. Loneliness may feel like a cage, but solitude is the key that sets you free. It's in the quiet moments, away from the distractions of life, that you transform into the most powerful version of yourself. So don't fear being alone. Embrace it. Master it. Let solitude become your greatest teacher, and watch how it transforms you into the person you were always meant to be.